All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, welcome to Powderpuff, the sports podcast for the girlies by the girlies. This is our fourth episode, and I'm just kind of glad that we're sticking to it, working with like come what may. We've done two in person and we've done two virtual remote Zoom. Um, Hopefully this week audio visual quality is better. I finally decided to just get it going and do the ring light thing, and we'll see. And I don't know.
On my end. So
Okay, good. Because I know, this computer that I've been using, I got. Because originally I thought it was 10 years old, but then I realized that in college I had a PC, like a PC laptop. And so this probably is 7 or 8 years old. So still, old.
yeah.
But yeah, so new enough to have the fingerprint login, but old enough to have the video quality everybody has seen. Um, but yeah, we were just pre-pod talking about how we're both just exhausted. Um, like I'll share, and you can share too. I'll share my week. First of all, I'm so sick of my Fitbit, which is such a ridiculous problem to have. But I use my Fitbit as an alarm because I'm supposed to be getting up really early so I can run. And so I want something that's only going to wake me up so I don't wake up Dayton at 5:45. But my Fitbit, I have to reset it, I think, and see if that works. But it's been doing this thing for a really long time now where it will buzz, but any sort of buzz makes it completely shut off and power down. So yesterday, so it worked on Monday. I got up on Monday and I ran. Yesterday, it died at 3 a.m., so I didn't wake up. This morning, I felt it buzz once and then shut off, but it didn't buzz long enough so that I actually woke up. It was a singular buzz, and I registered it in the back of my mind, but I was still so asleep, so I woke up again at 6:30, and I was like, okay, I guess we're not running again today because I didn't have time. Because also I was telling you that I stayed at work until 6:45, or no, 5:45 tonight, and then I had to go to the store and get groceries for dinner, and then I had to make dinner and eat dinner, and now we're here. But what was it, Monday? Monday I had a therapy appointment during lunch. Yesterday I had to leave 15 minutes early so I could get the dog from the shop, drop her off at home, and get out to Elkhorn to run stats and produce a volleyball game, which was amazing. It was such an amazing game. It was Gretna East versus Elkhorn North. There was a girl on Gretna East who got 22 kills, and there was a girl on Elkhorn North who's a sophomore who got 27 kills. At least
She's a sophomore.
she's a sophomore. The other girl's a senior. Yeah, this girl at Elkhorn North, what is her name? Something that starts with a W. Walraff. Reagan Walraff, I think. She's going D1. If she's only 15 and she's already getting that many kills, she's so dominant, and her little sister's a freshman and she's starting varsity too. Oh my God, these girls, you can tell they especially the older one, eat, sleep, breathe, drink volleyball. It was the first one that I got to be at that went all 5 sets, which was also really cool. It was very, very good. It was Elkhorn North took 2, Gretna East took 2, and then the last one, Elkhorn North steamrolled pretty much. It was 15-9 the last set. But it was awesome. And then today I had to go to a doctor's appointment during lunch, and so and then we had a meeting at 3, and my computer was really, really slow when I got back to my desk, and so nothing's working. I keep having to restart it, and I get to my email, and I've got an email from one of my associates that's I need you to make these signature pages. Here's the outline of what I need. And I normally I can get a signature packet together in 10 minutes, but this one had so many documents, and so it took a little bit longer. And so she walks by my desk and it's 5:35, and she's like, she knows, I can tell she knows that I'm not supposed to be there because we have a rule at the firm that's like, if you are a partner, you can ask your secretary to stay late and work for you or come in on a weekend and work for you, but you have to get it approved with HR first. Because we're technically like we're on salary, sort of, but we're hourly employees. So it's like you'll make this isn't how much I make, but I'll just throw a number out. You'll make $25,000 a year, but you have to make sure that every single day you are clocking 7.5 hours, or that at the end of every week your time balance goes to 37 hours, 37.5 hours. Um, so like she saw me there and she's like, and I'm like, no, 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 I'm not working overtime. I promise you're not gonna get in trouble because associates are not allowed to ask secretaries to stay late. Um, and I was like, I'm not overtime. I've got 45 minutes that I have to make up. I've got to leave like a half hour early tomorrow so I can get out to my church for like a band night that we're doing that starts at 5 and I get off work at 5. And like I work downtown. This place is almost in Bennington. So like
It's nice that
so
they're flexible though. Just
yes,
the
no.
7.5 hours in some way, somehow.
Yes. No, it's the best. And like it's one of like the biggest perks for me after being in a job where like I can't do anything ever
Hmm.
because there is zero flexibility. And like I remember that I used to plan my like because you have in-service days and then you have actual days off. So if it's ever like the kids have 2 days off in a row, it means that the teachers actually got one day and then they had an in-service day. But like I would have to plan everything around that one singular day off. Like I'm going to the dentist, I'm getting my oil changed, I'm going to the doctor, I'm doing everything. And when I started at the firm, there was like a 1 or 2 week stretch where I had appointments almost every day. They're like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "I just got out of teaching. It's the summer. All of my appointments are scheduled for the summer. Like, sorry, I will work on getting it spread out more, but this is just how everything's set up in my life right now. Everything happens in the summer or the last 2 weeks of December. Like everything. So this week's just been very tiring. Very, very tiring. But what about you?
Um, well, this week so far, Sunday, we had 3 football games. All of the football teams made it to the playoffs, so they're playing again this upcoming Sunday.
Wow.
That's exciting news. Uh,
Yes.
this morning, I popped 2 tires on my way to work, hit a pothole, avoiding my car being totaled out probably. So not as a big as loss that it could have been. So I'm grateful for that. But
Right. Right.
I
That's
had to get my
so
car towed away. It was so sad.
that's such a terrible way to
Watching your
start.
car be towed off, like, take care
Oh,
of my baby.
it's a sad, sad thing to watch your car get towed off. I've watched it twice, and it's just like a terrible feeling.
Yeah, and I just give my keys to this man, and I'm just trusting you to get it to the car, to the repair shop.
Hmm.
So
Were
I
you
need
were you
you.
close to work when it happened?
No, I had Azena and my daughters with me.
Oh my god.
The two little ones. I was on my way to school.
Oh,
It happened
that's
like down 72nd, like right in front of 72nd and Blondo. Right in
oh,
the
so
middle of
it's
morning traffic
yep, on one of the busiest streets in the city.
with the most
And
construction right now.
yes, oh my
It was
god.
just one of those construction potholes, and I just hit it perfectly. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, both tires.
It's not even like you were close enough that you could be like, all right, girls, get out and walk the rest of the way. Like you were miles away.
Yeah, it'd have been a
That's
long walk. Should
yeah.
have had an Uber. Shout out to our Uber.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's rough. Oh, that sucks. Oh,
Boy, hopefully end it with a better week. We'll see.
yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I forgot too that so tomorrow night I'm gonna be out doing stuff with my church, and then Friday night I'm producing a game with my brother out in Elkhorn again. Like
Elkhorn
it's
North is a nice high school.
Oh my God, it's so big.
Hmm.
It's so nice. Like all the Elkhorn schools, well, the Elkhorn North and Elkhorn South are both really, really nice. Like I remember being in high school, I was at Elkhorn South a lot because a lot of band stuff happened there, like competitions for like indoor band, not marching band. And it looks like an airport in that school. Like the way it's designed looks like an airport. And this school is, I didn't get to see nearly as much of it, but it looks more like a school, but it's still so nice. Like when you walk into the gym, because they have like one of the levels of their school is kind of like a sub level because it's built into a hill. And so you're on the second floor of the gym when you walk in. So instead of walking onto the court and climbing up, you're walking onto the the walkway that's really nice that's built in around the like second floor of the gym and you get to walk down. It's so nice.
I haven't
Like
been inside. I've only been seen it from the outside and then their football field.
and did you know my brother told me that they don't even use that football field for games. All of the Elkhorn schools share the field that's at the original Elkhorn High School.
Why?
I don't know. My brother
Because
said it was
maybe like
something.
the stadium seating?
It might be, but like I looked the glimpses that I caught last night, I looked at him and I was like, "You're sure that they don't play football here? Like this looks completely adequate. This looks like a nice field, and there is stadium seating."
Yeah, but it's probably not enough for varsity high school games.
That's true,
In
because he did say
Lincoln, in Lincoln, like all the high schools varsity games, they only use Seacrest. They use the like
that's at Lincoln, right?
huh?
That's at Lincoln High.
Lincoln East. Well, I guess maybe sometimes they played at Lincoln High too, but not as often as like the Seacrest games. That was like the main football place for all the schools.
Okay. Ugh,
Oh,
but yeah, I also didn't know that Elkhorn was a bigger city than Papillion. I had no
really?
idea.
I didn't know that
Because,
either.
well, it has to be because Papillion only has two high schools.
Oh, and they have three.
Yeah. And I mean, like, they're overpopulated high schools. Like, they haven't been adequately populated since like a few years after I was at Papio South. Because I remember when I was working at Monarchs, I was like, this is a ton of kids. And that was 4 years after I graduated high school, was when I was working there. It was so many kids. And now when I graduated Papio South, I think we had like 13 or 1400 kids going to school there. My sister is there now, and there's like 2,000 kids at that school, which like
To
makes
open another
sense.
one.
They need to. They built like a huge freshman wing at Papio South, and they built a massive freshman wing at Monarchs too. So I think that's how they're like dealing with it right now. But it's huge. It's absolutely massive.
2,000 kids. That is insane.
I know. They were supposed to build another high school years ago down on, I think it was supposed to be also on 370 like Papio South, but closer to Bellevue, like 60th and 370, and nothing ever happened with it. They built the middle school my sister went to instead. So I don't know. They're gonna figure it out. I don't know. I'll tell you what, this ring light, I look at it to talk to you, and then I look at my computer. I cannot see anything.
Because you're looking into that bright light.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm gonna do my best. Oh, yes, I did have two things that I wanted to tell you about from my week. One, so like a month ago, I was starting laundry before going to work. I was throwing stuff into the dryer, and oh my God, our house is so loud. Dayton just got back from like hunting Pokemon Go, and it's so loud, the door is.
Hunting Pokemon Go. He still does that.
He's only doing it right now because he only has one hand, so it's the only game he can play.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes. But okay, so we didn't have a dryer. So a few weeks ago, I went to the laundromat, did all of our laundry, but it's so expensive. It was like $20 just to do the washing, and then like $12 to do the drying. And I was like, I don't have money to just be dropping $35 a week on doing my clothes. So I just haven't done laundry since then. I think it was the week Dayton was in Notre Dame last with his dad. So what was that like
You can
two?
come use my washer and dryer.
Well, see, and that's what everyone's been saying. And then this weekend, I was like, you know what? I'm home alone. I have all these clothes. I don't want to go to the laundromat. My washer still works. So I could totally like wash everything and then take it in trash bags and dry it at the laundromat. But let me see if I can like figure this out. And so I, a woman, took apart my dryer and I thought maybe, like, from what I had heard and smelled from the dryer, I was like, I think there's just a lot of lint, like, in a place I can't get to. And it sounded like something dropped into the bottom of the dryer. So I was like, it could have been just something dropping down out of the lint trap into the base of the dryer. And it was. And let me tell you what I got out of my dryer. Aside from 300 pounds of lint, I don't think anybody's ever deep cleaned this thing. I found a dollar bill, $4 in change, a guitar pick, 4 golf tees. Like, it was
Somebody's not cleaning out their pockets.
oh my god, exactly. I couldn't believe it, and then I was telling Dayton, and he looked at me, I showed him the tees, and he's like, "Alright, 2 of these I've never seen. One of them is mine from when I first started golfing, and this one is yours." And I gave it to you while we were golfing. I was like, you it is pink, and you do give me all of the pink stuff, even though I don't really like pink. But yeah, nope, that makes sense. I guarantee you I left it in a pocket in my golf dress and forgot it was there. Like, you're probably right. So that was one thing. The other thing is, so the individual I'm discussing is a minor with strict parents. So I'm going to try to keep as few identifying features out of this. But I know a student, through a close relationship of mine, I know a student who is an undergraduate at UNL who is a minor. So he's not 21 yet in that like sense of being a minor. Um, and this individual was involved in an accident in their youth, and so they have a prosthetic leg. Um, and this individual got into the Lincoln game because they didn't buy a student pass for the Husker games. They got into a Husker game this weekend for free because they took off their prosthetic leg in front of a guy who was selling tickets, dumped a beer in it, and chugged the beer out of the leg.
No way.
And then the guy was like, free ticket, 100% free ticket right now.
What?
Yep. And then
Imagine that being your party trick.
right, exactly. I'm always like, I can do the worm. I can fit my fist in my mouth. This person can one up me any day of the week. Like,
Wow.
insane. And then I think did it a few more times while in the student section. Like,
Oh my God.
absolutely ridiculous. People are so funny. But I had to tell you about that because that was just
Learn to laugh through the painful things.
exactly. Yes, they are very good at that. Um, so speaking of Huskers, I also kind of want to like I feel like we've spent the last few episodes and I'm just like really deep diving into the football games and like talking about all the plays. And I kind of realized today, I was like, I know that that's what I love to do, but I'm not sure that's what like the people want. So, like, because I've seen these other like women run football and sports things. And most of them are like big girly pop energy, and that's just I don't bring that to the table. Like I just don't.
Like, I want to
And
talk football.
right, the only person who I've seen that has the same, even more intense energy than like us with what we're trying to do is I don't know if you've heard of Annie Agar.
I-
Um, she has a video that she drops every single Tuesday and it's her like cosplaying as every team in the NFL. Like she has all their different jerseys, and then she like has a weekly NFL meeting, and she wears an NFL shirt with a blazer over it, and she's like calling out all of these teams, and it's very quick. She gets through every single game in like 3.5 minutes, and she like calls them out on their bad things or like makes fun of them, and it's so good and it's so witty and it's so fast paced, and like her knowledge is so vast. I love Annie Agar. Like
You have
if
to
I
have
would
her send
yes.
your her link or send me her link.
I will. Yeah, I'll send you the video she dropped yesterday morning because like Dayton was. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching the new Annie Agar video." Like, calm down. He's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Doesn't matter." Like, I'm watching it, but so like I'm torn because part of me is like I really want to like keep digging into these games, and the other part of me is like I don't feel like people are interested in that. I don't know what people are interested in because like I haven't really gotten feedback other than like you guys are entertaining, which is cool, but like I don't know.
What do you want to hear, people? Drop it in
Yes.
the comments.
Please give us some guidance so we know whether or not you actually are enjoying this. Like, you want to know more football stuff, you don't want to know football stuff. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to know it, but like, if you want to tone us back or something, like, we want to listen, we want to learn, we want to grow, we want to do all that stuff. So, without further ado, um, Huskers versus Rutgers. Rutgers sucked, and they were undefeated coming into this game. Like
College
they
football is crazy this year.
oh my god, this whole week, like before I even get into this, I saved this meme because it was so good. So the aside from Nebraska upsetting Rutgers, Vanderbilt, no, I'm gonna save that one for last because that was the best one. Arkansas, unranked, upset number 4 Tennessee, 19-14. Washington and Michigan, that was the national tournament last year. And Michigan won. Michigan's ranked 10th this year. Washington's unranked. Washington beat Michigan 27-17. Texas A&M ranked 25th beat Missouri, who's ranked 9, 41-10. It was bad. Me and Dayton watched that game. It was very, very bad. Like, I didn't recognize Missouri at all. And then Minnesota and USC played each other. And Minnesota is unranked. USC's number 11. Minnesota beat them 24-17. Like, it was upset week this week. And they're always upset week somewhere around October in college football. And it's like every single upset goes back to back to back. And then typically the week after that, you also see upsets, which is very exciting because this weekend is October 15th and it's the day everyone has been waiting for. Like, I don't remember all of the games, but I do know Red River Rivalry is this weekend. So I am excited for Red River because I think that
The
one's going to
Red
be.
River rival. I can't even say it now. That's a mouthful.
It
Red
is.
River rival.
Yep. Yep.
Go on, what is this?
Texas, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, they hate each other. They hate each other so much. So I'm pumped. And then the biggest upset of the weekend was Vandy, Alabama, because Alabama's ranked number 1. Of course, it's Alabama. Vanderbilt is ranked not at all. And Saban, a few weeks ago, he does like College Game Day now with Pat McAfee on ESPN and like other people. And he was asked like, what's the hardest place to play an away game? And he's like, every single SEC team is hard to play an away game at except Vanderbilt. And Alabama came into Vanderbilt with that mentality and got crushed 40-35. Vanderbilt went so nuts that they did the thing where they took down the field goal posts. They walked it a mile and a half down Broadway Street from the stadium all the way to what is the name of that river? To a river and dumped it in a river.
Yeah, did you see how much that cost them, the university?
No.
It was like, did they say $100,000 in damage or $10,000 in damage? But something in the thousands. But why are you going to dump something in the river?
Because they're drunk college students who just upset Alabama for the first time in like 60 years and they can't be tamed.
5 upsets though by undefeated teams, all of them, almost except for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
unrated, undefeated. I meant
yeah.
unrated,
Unranked.
unranked. Thank you.
Yes.
It's been
Of
a day.
course.
Okay.
I know. I know. We're
Don't ask me to say words properly right now.
both just going to be bumbling around.
Yep.
But yeah, that was my favorite part of the weekend. But anyway, back to the Husker Rutgers game. Huskers won, but it was like a classic terrible Big Ten game. It was like 14-7. Nothing interesting was happening. It was not good. Um, like all I wrote down was that like now they each have one loss. There was a sophomore. He's a defender. His name's James Williams, and he was named the hardest working player of the game. He had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss, including the game-winning tackle. So like that was pretty cool. So I wanted to shout him out. He did a really good job, and it's cool to see like the younger players doing their thing and making their name.
Yeah, Nebraska is the only college football team, and they have nobody has rushed on them for a touchdown, I think, all year
Hey,
on
see,
their
and
defense. That's awesome.
this is why I love a good defense because the best offense is a good defense.
Yeah, defense wins football games always.
Yeah, and I feel like people, especially people who are new to football, just like not that they don't understand, but like kind of they don't understand that because like it seems as though all the action, because really all the action happens with the offense, but like if you get a good defense out there, the action
That's
happens on the
action. Ripping
defense.
that ball out of somebody's arms. Oh my God, there's nothing better.
Or like getting like a punch for a fumble and then everybody just going ballistic trying to get the recovery. Like it's just so fun. I love when the team I'm cheering for is on defense, especially when you know their defense is good. Like
I agree.
that is my favorite. Um, and I think that's really all I had for college football this week. Other than so Boise State has a player named Ashton Jaunty, and he had like 3 touchdowns this weekend. He's very, very good. Like he is what is he? He's a wide receiver, I think. And we think he's gonna be up for a Heisman this year. He's amazing. And he goes to Boise State. Like, uh, he
Over
said
Trevor Hunter, you think?
what?
I said over Trevor Hunter?
Well, I don't know. Like, they're both gonna be contenders.
Got
And possibly I haven't heard much about him since the first couple weeks, but that guy from Colorado who's a
Trevor
tight
Hunter.
end. No, it's a different guy. He's a tight end.
They're both from Colorado.
I know this guy's
He
from
plays
Colorado.
offense and defense. That's who I'm talking about.
Maybe it is. I haven't heard his name in weeks, so maybe it is. I don't know. Probably the same guy. Yes, because this guy I'm talking about also is tight end and plays defense. He's a unit. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. He
Hmm.
plays both sides of the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. But yeah, like Ashton Jaunty has been offered a lot of money, which I don't understand that. He's been offered a ton of money to go to other colleges. And I don't know if it's like scholarships or NIL deals because like they're not getting paid by the school. They can't, right?
No, I don't.
They can just accept
I'm sure,
NIL.
but they can. I'm sure certain universities have certain access to NIL money that other
Okay.
universities don't.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe it's like with what comes with coming to a certain school,
Right. Right. Because I
the
know
money.
that's why Notre Dame keeps putting Riley Leonard in because he's objectively terrible. He's not a good quarterback. We've talked about this. But like Notre Dame gave him so much money to go to Notre Dame that like they're not going to bench him. They're not going to not start him because they gave him so much money. They have to make like Marcus Freeman, the head coach's reputation is like riding on this because he made a
Maybe the
horrible.
schools do pay him, but I can't see the schools actually paying him. I think it comes through certain
Like
avenues, but
I
the
think so
school
too.
only has access through that avenue kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that's what I think. Yeah, like it's kind of like a backdoor thing, but like one that
Yeah,
everyone knows about, but like no one, or at least people like me, don't understand.
yeah.
So yeah, but like that was the only other college thing I had. Jets and Vikings played, I think, in London this weekend. Um, and Vikings are still undefeated. Jets head coach got fired. Aaron Rodgers should have retired like 3 years ago. He's so bad now. I don't have a problem with Aaron Rodgers as a person, but like at this point he is washed up as a quarterback. Like
Yeah.
he just is, and he needs to retire. But he did become the 9th quarterback in history to record 60,000 passing yards in a career this weekend, which is very impressive. Like, but at the same time, I'm just like, retire, please, I'm begging you.
I feel like he's been in the league for so long. Like I feel like he was in the league when I was 5.
No, I think you're right because I think he's 43, which means he probably started in the league 20 years ago, which would have made which would have made me 5. So, yeah, a long time.
You're only 25.
No. Am I an idiot? Yeah, I am. I would have been
Not a math teacher,
I would
everybody.
have been 8. I would have been 8. I'm not 25. I'm 28. Oh my god. I'm so tired.
This is going to be enjoyable to watch.
Oh god. I just exposed myself for being an idiot. But yeah, that was that game. Denver versus Las Vegas. This is the only thing I have written down for the game. So Denver, and I just remembered today that I'm going to be at the Broncos Chiefs game in Arrowhead. So I'm going to get to see Bo Nix play, which is exciting for me because Bo
Ooh,
Nix
are
is
you
good.
going with your dad?
My dad, my sister, my brother, and maybe his fiance and our stepdad. Yeah,
What?
we're all going to go
Oh,
together.
I love
Yeah, it's my family relationships are very weird. They don't make any sense. I don't they're good friends, sort of, I guess. I don't know.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, it's cool. It works. It's fun. But so we've been talking about Max Crosby here and there because like even
yeah.
though he's a Raider, we love Max Crosby. He's like the best defender outside of Chris Jones in the league. Um, and he's also just like a thug. Like he is a straight gangster. Like he's got a crazy past. And so when Denver and Vegas were playing each other, Bo Nix was like yelling play calls at his offense and no one was doing anything. Like I don't know if you've seen this video, but it's so funny. No one was doing anything. And like they're all looking around all confused. And I don't know if Max Crosby was mic'd up or if just somebody around him was mic'd up.
Oh my goodness, my computer just fell, guys.
I love that.
It was so scary. I'm so
I
sorry.
keep no, I keep waiting for this ring light to fall back because it's on like a swivel point. We'll see. But okay, so somebody was mic'd up, and like all of the offense is super confused. Max Crosby, obviously, Raider on defense at that moment. He stands up, walks into the neutral zone with his hands over his head, and he yells, let me get this right. Bo, speak up. They don't fucking know.
I saw that clip.
So
Crosby is
funny.
hilarious.
Oh my god, it was so funny. I was dying. Even Dayton was giggling. Like he thought it was really funny. Like, ugh, I'll say anything bad I want about the Raiders, but you won't catch me talking bad about Max Crosby ever. Like, ugh, what a guy. Uh, so that was like a big highlight of the weekend. And then KC versus the Saints. The only thing, like they won as expected. The only thing I really outlined from that game, because again, I'm trying to like not go too far in depth right now. Like I'm trying to
Right.
like hold back a little bit. The what I wrote down from that game, so the Chiefs had gotten penalized a bunch, and so we are on like second and 34, and I think they got an 8-yard run, and so it was like third and like 27 or third and 28 or something crazy like that. Um, and so Patrick throws to Travis Kelsey, who had like a good game. Um, he throws to Travis Kelsey, and then Travis Kelsey gets like 10 yards, and he sees that he's about to be smothered by 3 defenders, and he lateral passes to Samaji P. Ryan, who just like wasn't even supposed to catch the ball, but he saw the ball coming at him and he caught it and he got us all the way to get to 4th and 1. And then we got the first down on 4th and 1. And it was the announcers for like 5 minutes, they're like, I can't tell if that was a planned play or not. Like we can't tell. Somebody's got to ask him about it in the post game. And so they did. Did you see what Patrick said?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I
So for
did.
those of you
And
who don't
I
know,
also saw what I saw the play, and then I saw what Travis said on the podcast on New Heights about it.
okay, I'm going to say what
And,
Patrick said, and then I want you to tell me what Travis said on New Heights because I haven't listened yet.
I mean, I
But
it's gonna be so much better if you just listen to him because
yeah, but I want you to tell me before I hear it so I know what I'm going into. But okay, so like for those people who don't know, Patrick Mahomes has 2 kids and 1 kid on the way. And his oldest kid is a daughter named Sterling, and she's like 3 or 4. And um and so they were like, what was that a planned play? And he's like, no, before the play, I told Travis, I'm throwing to you so you can get us the first down. And then he just does that. It's like giving directions to Sterling. And I was dying. Because it's so true. That's how Travis is. He's just like a 4-year-old girl. Like
Yeah. So on the podcast, they talk about how they practice it in practice every single day, but it's not a play and they never know when it's going to happen. And Travis is like, yeah, I went into the huddle saying, let's just get, to field goal range. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I told Patrick, I got you.
yep.
And he's like, I don't know. It just happens. We don't know when it's going to happen. So the person he threw it to, I don't know who he threw it to.
Smash and P Ryan.
Yeah. Um, he's like, well, we practice it in practice. So I just kind of went with it.
Yep.
So it's a play that I don't think they necessarily mean to play. Just when it happens and the time is right,
Yeah. It
there.
happens.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what about Kaylin Sanders' interception in the end zone?
So I saw it, but I didn't see it because that was in the second half. And in the second half, Dayton was like, "What's the score?" And I told him what the score was. And he's like, "Just turn off the volume and put it to the side so we can watch The Walking Dead and check it every once in a while." So that's what I did. And then I had checked it, right, and like I knew where they were on the field, and I knew we were about to get a touchdown. And then I looked like a minute later, less than a minute later, and like I saw where the field was, and I was like, and Dayton's like, what? And I was like, a big man just got an interception and ran it back like 30 yards for the
A
Saints.
big man who used to play for Kansas City.
Yes, and his brother is one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers in the Eras tour. Yeah. And Taylor Swift was there.
The
It was very layered.
girl was there. Yeah, that
Right.
was a really cool moment. Always a cool moment. And also, there was a play where Patrick Mahomes ran up the middle, and the holding call that didn't get called was so obvious. And I was like, this is
On
why the
the
Chiefs get called for, just sticking to the damn script.
on
These
the
refs
Chiefs.
are, yeah, Sarah's bad. I was like, why aren't they calling this?
Yeah.
It was the replay of it, and I'm like, oh my God. And he just ran freely right up the middle.
Yeah, I don't I really I really
Those
don't
are
like when they miss
difficult.
calls like that on the Chiefs. Like just because I know the narrative and it like feeds that narrative, people believe. Like, have you seen that stat going around that's like 17? Patrick Mahomes so far this season has had 17 interceptions nullified by holding calls or by like a penalty. And they were talking about it on Pardon My Take, and Big Cat was like, okay, yeah, that's a true statistic, but it's also bullshit because 10 of those calls were like Patrick Mahomes saw that there was a false start or an offsides on the defense, so he knew he had a free play. So he just chucked it down the field and it got intercepted, but he knew it didn't matter because they had already gotten like, or like a, yeah, they had already gotten an offsides call on the defense and he was just playing it out. Like,
Like the
so
flag
really,
was called and he just kept playing.
exactly. So, like, I don't know. I don't like those. I don't like when people say that, but I also understand why they say it because it is frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
But what people also don't talk about are like all of the missed penalties on other teams that screw the Chiefs. Like, because those happen too.
Oh, definitely. This one was just very obvious. So I was like, I'm bringing this up to Sarah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure it happened because I know it happens every week and it's so frustrating.
It's
I don't
not the
know.
only team it happens to
Exactly. Like people
at all.
act like I get why the Chiefs are the most hated team in the league. Like I understand all of it, but it's like I don't know, people just make it out to be so much worse than it is.
Come to like a little league game or a high school game, these parents, when they see somebody holding their baby
Oh, I'm sure.
out
I'm
and
sure
then
they
the
lose.
refs don't call it,
Absolutely not. Not my baby. Oh my
right.
god.
I don't blame.
Did you see that Bravo is in the works with a show about the Wags of Kansas City?
I did not. I saw it in your notes.
Yeah, I don't like they've only announced two people who are involved. One of them is Chris Jones's baby mama, and the other one is McCole Hardman's fiance. And then that's all. They haven't released any other casts yet. And like I was listening to the Toast and they were talking about it, and I thought they had a really good idea of like this could be something that could be really cool, like to franchise out. But if it's just Kansas City, it's just going to make Kansas City look worse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Like I think that they should also have one for like Chicago, because Simone Biles, they should absolutely the perfect place where they actually should have started if they want to make this a franchise. The perfect place for them to start would be San Francisco 49ers because they have Christian Juszczyk, they have Olivia Culpo, they have Christian McCaffrey just married Olivia
Do you
Culpo. They've
think
got
any of them though would actually be on a show like this? You have to understand, like, it's would you sign up for that
me personally,
if you were an NFL wife? I
absolutely
sure would.
not.
Right.
Like, I mean, the only
Having
way,
video cameras in your life all the time,
right?
it's going to take somebody, I don't mean this in a rude way, but somebody who wants the attention at the end of the day.
Yes. Because for me, I'm like, okay, what am I going to get out of it? For me, the big thing is money and like a platform to continue making more money. And like, is that going to be worth it for cameras in my life? And the automatic no's are, do I have kids? If I have kids, no.
Mhm.
Like, you're not putting my kids in front of a camera. You're not filming my kids' home. You're not making my kids public figures. That is not happening. And I guess also, like, can I handle public scrutiny? No, I can't handle public scrutiny. I want people to like me, and I don't like when people don't like me. And so I wouldn't be able to handle it personally. I feel like if she didn't, I feel like she won't do it because she has kids. But Brittany Mahomes has already faced so much public scrutiny. Like, she was so hated for years by Kansas City fans. And then, like, once Kansas City started getting good, like a more national platform of people just hated her. And now people like her. But like she went through that for years, so I know she could handle it. But like I don't know about these
I
other
don't see her being on this.
I don't see her being on it
I
either.
feel like there's, when it comes to reality TV, that's like a level and that's like below her. And I don't mean to put
Yes.
people on levels, but I am at the end of the day. And what there's one reason they're starting in Kansas City and one reason only.
Right.
They're
Like
gonna
that's
tune
where
in.
all
They think
eyes
they're
are.
gonna see somebody on TV, and that's the only reason. I don't like it.
Yeah. Because like all eyes are already on Kansas City. But like I do agree with you that like because like I love reality TV. It's my favorite. But it's not where I'm going to see like the most outstanding performances and like big thinkers of the world. It's where I'm going to like be entertained mindlessly and also feel better about myself. Like,
Just stay on TikTok, Kansas City Wags.
right.
We
Like,
love you on TikTok.
yes. And I feel like they're kind of, because they're big on TikTok, they're kind of trying to take a page out of the book of the show that people have been talking about that I actually just started watching today. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Do you know about that one?
No, but I just don't understand because they're gonna take your story and twist it and make you look so bad on TV when
Yes.
you're not.
Yes. And that's one thing that, like, so, oh my gosh, I know too much about reality TV, but like, so Love is Blind, the newest season dropped with no warning, no hype, no build up, nothing. It just like we woke up on Monday or we woke up last Thursday and it was just there. Like
Hmm.
brand new season. Um and there was this guy named Leo and Leo has a lot of money. He's inherited a large fortune because his family he's an art dealer and his family has been art dealers for like almost a century. And he said there was like a span of time in 2 years where his both of his grandparents who held the fortune originally died, and then the fortune went to his parents, and then both of his parents died the next year, all from cancer. And so he all of a sudden had no family and a fuckload of money. And so like in the show, the producers cut the film. So like he did talk about his money on multiple occasions, but the way they cut it was that was all he ever talked about. So like it was always like I do come from privilege. I do have a lot of money or like I know that this problem isn't really relatable, or like this is a Rolex that my grandpa bought 40 years ago and passed down to me. Like this nice stuff that seems on the show. I hated him on the show because I was like, he's just flaunting his money, and I'm over here like praying to God that I don't forget about a bill and wake up in the red the next morning before payday, right? Like, I can't relate to him at all. And then it comes out from the other guys who were living with him in like the men's quarters that like I didn't know he had money. Like I had no clue. He never talked about it, or like, yeah, he brought it up to me once, but then never brought it up again. And so it's like they took every single time that he talked about money and cut them all together, so it made it seem like he was talking about it all the time. And that is what reality TV does. Like the producers control the narrative.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like, so I
Uh,
don't.
that's probably why I'm not a fan of it. Because I
Yeah,
know it's not, it's not real. It
it,
is not reality
it
at
is.
all.
No, it's not realistic for the majority of the country, and it's really like it's so heightened because like the crazier you are, the more likely you are to renew your contract and keep that money coming in because it's like you get 50 grand per episode if you're on the main cast.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it's so much money, but
How
like I don't
like
know.
where are
I
they getting, how do TV shows, if they get watched, then they get the money. But how do they know their shows are going to be watched?
exactly. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, like, it's 50 grand now. They didn't start like that much money, but like they like with the Real Housewives, it used to be like 5 years ago it was like 20 grand. And before that I'm sure it was like 5 grand an episode. But like
I miss when it was like MTV, Spring Break, and Fear Factor even.
yes. Or like even Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore cast did not get paid for
The
being on Jersey
Hills. I
Shore.
love The Hills.
Yes. I've never watched it, but I know people love it.
Because that was one reality TV show I loved.
Yes.
But this new age, mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't
I did
know.
hear about the Secret Life of Mormons, though. All those girls on TikTok. I should
Yeah, like
women on TikTok.
yeah.
They
It's
have a show now.
it's interesting. I like am a few episodes in because I was watching it while I was working. It's interesting, but it's so weird because like these girls grow up so conservative and so religious that like they're my age, but like the certain experiences they just haven't had because of the intensity of the religion they're in. And so, like, the things that they're arguing about or they're insecure about at 28 to 31 years old are things that I was insecure and upset about at like 22. And like, I consider myself to be like a very emotionally, developmentally delayed person because, like, I also grew up in certain aspects, like, very sheltered
Yeah.
and like I didn't even have my first drink until I didn't get drunk for the first time until I was 19. And I thought that was normal. And then come to find out, oh no, there's kids getting drunk at like 14, 13, 11.
I was not that young. That is crazy.
The kids who were getting drunk at 11 are either super rich or they live out in the sticks. But like I know kids from the sticks. And so they were like, yeah, I started drinking when I was 11. Or like kids in the suburbs, yeah, I started drinking when I was 14. And
Or taking, pills they shouldn't be because their parents have a cabinet full of
yeah,
medication.
exactly. And I was such the opposite. And I thought I was normal. And then I found out I wasn't. Like, I was so opposite. I remember when I got my wisdom teeth out, they gave me Vicodin. And I refused to take it because I had things to do. And my mom, like, it was one of those things where I'm like, well, my mom lied to me and then gave me Vicodin. But like, I understand as an adult why she did it. She was acting in my best interest. I was just mad about it. But like, my mom gave me medicine a few hours after I got out of the operation. I was like, is this going to make me fall asleep? And she said, no. And I'm like, okay, because I cannot fall asleep because I have things I need to do. And I got knocked out in like 30 minutes because it was the Vicodin. And I was furious. I woke up, I never took another one because I was like, you don't understand. Like, I have to go perform in the indoor band marching exposition for the next 3 nights. And my mom, the day I got my surgery was the first night of the expo. And I was like, I'm just gonna go and sit in the audience, mom. I'm not gonna perform. And my mom was like, okay, fine, but your dad's gonna go with you and he's gonna sit next to you and make sure. And I was like, shit. Because I was totally gonna sneak in and perform. Like, and so my dad came with me and I couldn't get on stage and I was so frustrated. And then the next night I showed up, my cheeks are ballooned up. I can't play the saxophone. Everything's bruised on my face. And my band director's like, you're gonna do this? I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to play, but I'm gonna march and I'm gonna hit my cues and I'm gonna do the show. And so I did the show that night and the matinee the next day. Like, and
Without your instrument, or you just acted like you were playing it?
I didn't even have to pretend because my cheeks were so swollen, it just looked like I was playing.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but no, I had my saxophone, but I did not play it. But like, I thought I was normal, and I found out within the last few years that I was not. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And so, all's to say, I feel like these girls are like, I consider myself to be very behind emotionally, and these girls are even further behind me, which is like insane to me because they're at 19, 17, 21, getting married and starting families.
there's one on there from TikTok. She like was married before. I can't think of her name. She was married before and she's an alcoholic and she went to treatment and her new boyfriend now it's her husband and they just had a baby together. So she,
Taylor,
yes.
yeah, Taylor's a disaster.
Yeah. But she's been a disaster since TikTok. Now
Yeah.
she's on the show.
Yeah, and she said too, she was like, I was the wild child, I was drinking, I was going to parties, all this stuff. Like, she got arrested. The first episode of the season, she got arrested for domestic assault.
Yeah,
Um,
against her now husband.
yes. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm watching their relationship and I'm hearing the things that he's saying to her, and I'm like, you should not be with this man. And she's like, yeah, I would leave him if he cheated on me. And I'm like, yeah, but listen to what he's saying to you. He's horrible to you. Like, and it's just like that disconnect, right? Of like,
Mhm.
I can, like, well, I'm not like drinking all the time anymore. I'm with him, and like, so he's making me better. And I'm like,
But they
that's,
went through this on TikTok publicly months ago, and now
yes.
they're making money off of it again.
Yeah, they're making so much money off of it.
So what does she just, I mean, does she want to go do it again? Because hey, I can get drunk, get arrested for a DV and profit off of it. Like, what is she learning? I
I
don't get it.
I don't know. That's what, like, when
And
you
what
get
are they teaching our children by
right.
showing like this is normal? This isn't normal.
No, not at all. Like, and like, I don't know. Like, this specific show is one that I'm trying harder, even though it might not seem like it right now, but I'm trying harder not to judge it because it is like their lives are based so centrally around a religion that like I'm not part of, but at my high school there were two massive groups of like demographics, and one was military and one was Mormon. Like, Papio South has so many Mormon kids there.
Hmm.
And so like I had a lot of Mormon friends in high school. And so like I understand. I think I still own a Book of Mormon because I started reading through it and I was like, because I was trying to read it to get a firsthand account of what in the world is going on. It's nuts. It's absolutely bananas. Like, I don't know. And I could get into a whole like jumping off point, but back to your point of like, what are we teaching our kids? It's like, yeah, I love reality TV, but I also have a fully developed brain, and my kids will be allowed to go nowhere near reality TV. Like,
That's not the most we watch is Dance Moms, and half the time I'm like, what? No. Like
right,
we
like,
got to season 4 and they're like, okay, we're over it.
yeah, like we get the point. Like, they're dancing, moms hate each other, everyone's fighting, and they're gonna win a competition. Like,
Yeah, and then they're like, well, they're all best friends on TikTok, mom, now. Like,
yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much all of them.
because we just started researching them like on social media, and I'm like, well, they look like they're all friends now.
Yeah, yeah. Except for I think like the Ziegler sisters,
I don't
but
know.
maybe I don't know. But they are the ones who got like super super famous and like
Oh.
very successful. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Do you know who Juju Watkins is? Back to sports.
I know that I heard the name Juju
She
Watkins.
plays
Like
basketball for
yes,
USC.
yes, she's got the Juju bun.
Yeah. She is signing the largest women's Nike deal in history. Congrats.
Really?
That's amazing.
Isn't she a sophomore this year?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, like I know she's the
I'm
next big.
excited for women's or college women's basketball this year.
I am too. Like last year, like 2 years ago with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, like that rivalry was so big. And then last year, them all as seniors, plus that girl Paige from
And
UConn.
Paige is coming back.
Is she not a senior? Should she not
She's a
graduate?
senior this year.
Okay, because she's a thug.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love her.
I like that girl.
Huge fan
And
of
then
Paige.
Juju's on the come up.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I don't remember her first name, but I know her last name is Bao Bao because one of my closest friends from high school is also last name Bao Bao, and that's not a common name. And they're like distant cousins. They're both from the same village in Samoa. And
I'm pretty sure she graduated last year.
I thought so too. Where did she go? South Carolina?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm also excited. Like for women's basketball and for March Madness because like I feel like when football season ends it's just like so depressing, but then it's only depressing for like 3 weeks and then you're in the throes of March Madness and women's college basketball and like all this stuff that's so fun.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
me too. I
Yeah.
feel like the most boring break is after the College World Series. Then sports is like
Yeah. That's
slow
when
until
that's when
football
you really
season.
got to like figure out your own weekend activities.
Yeah. What can I
Yeah.
do now?
Yeah. All right, you want to call it for the week?
Yeah, probably.
Get
I'm
some
getting
sleep.
it's my
Um,
bedtime.
if you've made it this far in the episode, let me or let us know in the comments in the DMs and Instagram. Like we kind of tried something different this week, like a little bit less in-depth football, but like still covered like the highlights. Like, did this work better for you? Do you want us to go back to being more in depth? Like, do you want us to start covering more than football? Like all this stuff. Just let us know where your head's at so we can cater to your little desires and get ourselves to be better. But if you have any questions in the coming weekend, and you want some answers from us, if you see anything that you don't understand happening, or just something pops into your brilliant brain, DM our Instagram at powderpuff_pod, and give us a follow while you're there, or you can email us at powderpuffsportspod@gmail.com. But as always, thanks for tuning in to Powderpuff, which is the football podcast made by the girls for the girls. We'll have new content out. We're gonna start putting content out on Friday instead of promising it on Thursday. Friday just works better with my schedule. I work from home that day, so I can get content out on Fridays instead. But every Friday by midday for you. And we'll try to continue educating you on the goings on of football and keep this thing rolling.
And while you're here, go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and send this episode to your favorite football fan.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next
Good
week.
night. See you later.